you can just talk to me. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you should do, personally, arrange my currencies in a way that ziko divided into each currency iko na specific, what do we say, iko na specific ama the major currencies ziko pamoja peke yake, then the minor currencies ziko peke yake. Okay, so each major currency iko na profile yake. Okay, so I showed you guys how to make your profiles. Okay, so we're going to start with the US dollar. This is the USD major currencies. So the first thing you need to do ni pull up your charts zote. I have the USD index, niko na Euro USD, GBP USD, USD SHAF, USD CAD, Australian USD, New Zealand USD, Gold, and USD GPY. Okay, so the second thing, personally, I use the moving averages to determine the trend of the market. Okay, so in this is my MT5. Okay, so we said MT5 is better kutumia. Okay, not the best because tuko na kitu kama trading view and you gonna more features that you can use, but personally I prefer using the MetaTrader. For me, it's just, I think it's better for me. Okay, so what you need to know, what you need to understand is the advantage that comes with MT5 is that icona more time frames, it's a bit advanced, yeah, and they keep on improving it. Okay, so there's nothing much at the MT5 nini, but personally I prefer using MT5 to analyze markets, but kuingia markets I use the MT4. Yes, so the first thing, my currencies. So tutakuwa tuna analyze all these currencies. As you can see, this is all custom. Okay, so unaweza kuwa na more buttons zenye sina, unaweza kuwa na specific buttons zenye hauna. Then for the time frames, I usually work with 30 minutes, 1 hour, mostly 4 hours, 1 day. Yeah, you get the logic. Then you can see this is custom view. Okay, then I have my rectangle and triangle ready for access. Niko na my Fibonacci's here. Then niko na my Elliott wave. Okay, what else? Yeah, linear regression channel. Niko na the trend lines, vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, so the first thing, so that you can just get to this, it's going to be a bit of a long process, so I hope you guys buckle up. In case of any question, in case I miss anything, you just tell me. Okay, so we're going to start now the USD major currencies. Tutaangalia, always start with the USD index. Okay, so enlarge USD index. When you're analyzing easy markets, try going to the biggest time frame. So this is the disadvantage that comes with MT5 because inakuwaga slow. But when it comes to analyzing the markets, the first thing you do is answer at the biggest time frame available. This is the monthly. Do you have anything for monthly? Try and identify all the trends zenye unaweza pata. Tuko na something of the sort. We also have this. Okay, so you can see I may assume this point. Okay. So in case of any questions, you just ask me because nitakuwa na analyze the markets mostly. Okay. And in case I'm not clear, you just tell me. So this is the monthly. So you don't need to be so perfect on it, but you need to be careful now. So I'm having doubts on this support and resistance. This, is it a vertical line? I'm having doubts. But based on this, tunaweza based on this point, this range, this point, and this zone. So I'm not so certain about it, but let's just leave it up. Okay. So as you can see, na try to identify supports, na try to identify resistance, then na try to identify any trends I can spot for that specific market. Okay, so zoom in, zoom out, anything you can do, just make sure you try and get the best out of the market, or you try and get all the points possible. So we have this point because of this gap and this point, but lazima ukumbuke it's a higher time frame. So this one tunaweza songesha hapa just slightly, roughly hapo, somewhere around there, because of this point, this point, this point, but I'm very uncomfortable with the line. Okay, so hapa chini we have this point, tukona this point, this point, this is lower and this is lower. So since market haijafika huku, we won't be so keen on this point. Okay, but we'll have this point to worry about. Okay, so that is monthly, then weekly, daily. So this is where it starts getting interesting, because sasa you can find kwa hizi shorter time frames hauna any trend, you can't identify any trend kwa market, but ukikuja to these shorter time frames kuna some sort of trends you can get kutoka kwa market. Okay, so you can see nimeassume hii point, it's always drawing to the best fit, it's always going for the best fit. Okay, so we have this, not so comfortable with it, but yeah, we can still place it, but I'm very uncomfortable with that. So we can zoom in to see kama tuko na anything. So you can see tuko na this upper side here. In case of any questions, mniulize. So we have this. I wanted it to fit hapa, but then tutakuwa tume leave out so many points. Okay. So in this case, this our trend ili invalidatiwa by this. Okay. So this made it invalid for us to follow these two trend lines. So yes, as much as we can use this one for references, it's not going to be the best. It's not going to give us what we're after. So we can just delete it. So we can delete that. We can delete the upper one until the moment you're going to be needing it. Okay. So we can go to shorter time frames. Tutaruka all the way to 4 hours. Okay. But when you're analyzing, try and get kutoka all these time frames if possible. But you're going to find some situations zenye tuta employ. Okay. Okay, you might need this 8 hours because of this point. Hope you can see that. To may assume this point, so lazima we be keen on that. Okay. But this one, I'm uncomfortable with using it. This trend line. So let's just delete it. Okay. So we have something of the sort. Still not the best. Still not the best. So 4 hours. For 4 hours, do we have anything? Zoom in, zoom out. So tulikuwa na this ranging market around here and somewhere here. So you can see how we use our supply and demand zones. That is where they come in. Okay, so tuko na this point. Based on this, tumemovisha our trend line hapa slightly. Somewhere hapo. Not the best, but yeah. Then hapa, do we have anything? Tuko na this lower point. So yeah, tuko na this point hapa. Then tuko na this point. Okay. Same case. Okay. So ikikuja to trying and figuring out what is going to happen kwa market, as I said, natumianga 3 EMAs, okay? 200, 20, 50, and 100, or the fourth one is the 100. Si lazima utumie the 100, but I think it's a good one. So we have this for hours. So to determine this some trend forming. So this is lower than this. So we expecting kama hii market itakuwa imeanza kuform an uptrend, then tunaweza expect from something a higher point than this. Okay, so this is lower than this. So that is a sign market inakaa kuwa imechange the trend. Okay, so tutaenda kwa 1 hour. We'll go to the 1 hour, zoom out. Okay, so for 1 hour we need to begin on this point, previous high. Okay, then the other point you need to know, to look out for, is this point. Okay, so yeah, so we have something of the sort. It's just some dirty chart, not the best, but based on our moving averages on the 4 hours, we need to see this market breaking the 200 EMA for us to have a clear, for us to be comfortable enough kusema the market may change the trend. Okay, but already you can see based on the higher highs and higher lows being formed, then the other points you guys need to, ukiona some points kama hizi mali market imefika then imeturn, it's always a point of interest. Okay, so you need to plot your supply and demand zone hapo, ama you can always plot your support ama resistance in that point. Okay, in case nionge Greek, in case I don't explain something in details, you guys ask. But so we need to see prices zime break the 200 EMA for 4 hours for us to have a clear vision, ama for us to be very certain market imeanza imechange trend kabisa. Then another thing you guys need to understand is whenever the market breaks the 200 EMA, ama most of the times iki break that 200 EMA, the market tends to retrace as a confirmation for that 200 EMA, and then our target will be around hapa because of this zone. Okay, okay, so that would be our target if we see this market ikikuja break that point. Okay, so we all know what happens. Okay, so whenever the USD index is strong, then we're expecting Euro USD itakuwa weak. Okay, GBP USD same thing, itakuwa weak. Then USD chef itakuwa strong. Okay, USD card itakuwa strong. By strong I mean ita buy, by weak namaanisha ita sell. Okay, so that this is a good reference point. So tukiwa na this, based on this, we are looking at the market having a possibility. You can see this, ili bounce to 200, ika drop. Then right now we can see the market inakani kama ina gain some strength to move upwards. Okay, it's a game of probabilities. In case ikose kufanya hivyo, what do we expect? Tunaweza expect hii market irudi tu hapa. Okay, but more, okay, the bigger probability, the bigger, we're expecting this break mostly because tumeona the market imeanza kuform an uptrend. Okay, this point, you can see this low. Okay, then tuko na a higher high. Okay, then tuko na a lower high. We can assume this because haikufika kwa trend, but it's still a valid point. It's lower, but it's still higher than this point. Okay, then market ikarudi to this third point to form a double bottom. So we can say this is a double bottom in some sort of way. Okay, so we expect hii market to follow this trend. We expect hii market to what do we say? This market to break out of this upper trend line. So this is good, but a useless trend line. Okay. Any questions? Okay, my EMAs. Is this clear, Rama? So this is 21 EMA, 55, 100, this 180, I'm sorry. I was quite wrong. Yeah, 180. But I prefer using 200, 20, and 50. Okay. But I hope you guys can see this. So based on this, this is a double bottom. Tuna expect your market itakuja kwa this neckline. Okay. You break out, a retest, then market iendelee kubuy. Okay. So hapo tunaweza employ one, we can use the Fibonacci extension. Okay. Oh, come on. Tunaweza tumia Fibo extension. Okay. It's doing exactly what I didn't want it to do. But oh well. So we can use Fibo extension to know where to expect the prices. Okay. We have this pullback around there. So yeah, we can expect price if it gets 61.8% before a retracement and then a continuation. So eventually I won't be surprised to get that price at around 99.34. Time frames. What I'll tell you new for the time frames, go for the entire thing. The approach to the time frames ndio that matters. Analyze markets zako from a bigger time frame as you move downwards. But personally, I usually go for the daily. Ikienda chini sana ni 30 minutes, but most of the time I usually trade with 1 hour as the last time frame. I will put into consideration. Okay? But the advantage that comes with MT5 ni ukona more than just that time frame. Ukona kama the 2 hours. You can see the 2 hours ukona 6 hours. Okay, so itakupatia more opportunity to spot everything that is going on kwa market. I hope this is not too dirty, but yeah, in case of any question to uliza tu. So yes, so for the time frames, under the bigger time frames, as you analyze the markets, ukishuka chini, don't limit yourself at useme just because na trading in a 1 hour ama na trading in a 4 hours, I won't go for the shorter time frames. Okay, so make sure you go for the entire thing. Okay, so Euro USD. As always, we start with the highest time frame. Okay, so tukianza the highest time frame, this is an interesting currency. Okay, juu ya time, I don't think we'll do everything, but I'll give you some samples. Ama tutachagua at least 2 to 3 currencies each and every. So we'll just choose 2 to 3 currencies each major from each, if that makes sense. So yeah, so this is the weekly time. This is the weekly time frame. Okay, so generally, in general, Euro USD. Okay, just a minute. So in general, Euro USD imekuwa ikidrop. Okay, so that is mostly the most important part of it. What is the general trend of that currency? Euro USD tuko na downtrend. So you need to keep that in mind. The lowest point for your market. So we have your point. Tuko na this point because it's recent. Okay. Tuko na this point. Reason being market iko around that point. So you need to be careful with that specific point kwa market. Okay, so you can see this point. So another thing, ikikuja to drawing these trend lines, wacha kujilimit, wacha kusema ati this one cannot be ama ati nini. Make sure chafua chart yako, it's your chart, make sure you make it as personal as you can. Okay, so weekly we have a downtrend. That is the general view of the currency. Okay, so Euro USD, the first thing you should write down, general downtrend. Okay, so on the daily, what do we have? So before Corona came, we had a comfortable downtrend. Okay, then Corona happened around hapa, market ikabuy to around huko, then a drastic sell, then another buy. So what do we expect? So we have another trend line around hapa, somewhere hapa, not comfortable, but yeah, something there. You can see that. Okay, but this is not even important because you're not going to be referring it sana. We're not going to be using it as much as we'd want to. We can delete it if something is not going to help in your analysis. But based on this, tuko na this point. Okay, what else do we have? Tuko na this point. We have this. So as many as you can, until you feel comfortable enough. So that is the daily. We can zoom in. Do we have anything we can say we're comfortable ama tunaweza determine the trend? No. You can see what is happening. There's a lot of volatility. So trading on the higher time frames, then in this currency you'll end up losing. Okay, so yeah, so what we do, we move to the shorter time frames. We'll just jump to 4 hours yeah, in reference to MT4. So yeah, waiting for update. Well, okay, yeah. So there we go. So Billard and a lot of questions. We have this. Come on. So we have that. You can see. We have this. Okay, so yeah, that's so basic. That's so basic. That's just so basic. 200 EMA around this point. So what do you expect? Some consolidation before that drop ifike. So price inaweza kuja to around this point. These are comfortable points unaweza tumia for your targets. Okay. So I hope as much as napitia nasema this is something you understand, make sure you ask me any question you have. Okay. So Fibonacci retracement, where is it? What is the retracement? What do you expect from this? Okay. So to corner the 100 point, this is a good target. You to get this double top. Okay. So you can see we had the double bottom in the USD index. If you can remember this point and this point, then ikikuja to Euro USD, we have a double top. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. So basically what you need to understand, the main thing you need to understand when it comes to trading the USD currencies, make sure you have your you have analyzed your USD index. Okay, so Fibonacci retracements consolidation imeform on the 38.2% retracement. Okay, so we can expect the price inaweza drop to around 61, but 50 is certain. Okay, so yeah, unless okay, I don't know, what, then this is GBP USD. Tuko na around 6 minutes, so we're going to analyze GBP USD, then we're going to go for either CAD or chef. You guys choose one, CAD or chef, USD chef. Then after that, we're going to move on to another currency. So the general trend, downtrend, no questions. Hope you can see this. Oh, come on. Okay, sorry about that, but 25. So first thing is the general trend. The bears have been in the market for a while, no questions. Okay, so the lowest point that market imekuwa around hapa, then tuko na this significant point. Okay, tuko na this point around there, not comfortable, but yeah, I think hapo ni sawa. Tuko na these points, lazima keep in mind this is a higher time frame, so unaweza pata this ina act kama just a few candlesticks, ina act kama just one candlestick ilifika this point, but in reality this took more than 3 days ama 4 days as a consolidation around that point before market iamue kwenda kwenye itaenda. Okay, so ikikame to the weekly, the monthly, make sure you draw anything and everything you can spot. So yeah, I think this is better because market ilikuja ikafika this point, then we have this point, we have this point. I was thinking about this lower point, but I think this is a better comfortable point. Then we have this, and we have this. Okay, so I think that is a better comfortable point. In case I miss any of them, make sure you draw them. Ama ukiona yenye sijaona, you make sure you have them noted down. So yeah, on the daily, do you have any trend? Yes, a few. So tuko na this one. Hope you can see it. But we have a violation hapa a crazy violation, but then tuko na this point, that point. So yeah, it's comfortable enough. Then you also have this. Then you have to keep in mind this is a long-term analysis. This is something you're going to be referring to as much as possible, as long as you're trading. Okay. So yeah, tuko na that and that. So sasa ni kudetermine from this where we expect the market to go to next. Okay. So the next thing for hours, do we have anything for 4 hours? Okay, this is right there. MT5 comes in hand. So yeah, we have this. I can see something. In case of any questions, or in case I do something you're not getting, I'm here for the questions, honestly. So yeah, let me just delete this. So we have this. This is actually what most of the people have been trading, something of the sort, which I'm not too comfortable with. This is actually okay, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst scenario, but you can see what happens here. Okay, so you need to be very careful ikikuja to search. So if at all you're going to be trading this, then I'd not go past this point. I'd not go past this point. This would be my target. I'm at this point. Okay, because of this violation is a big deal, a very big deal. But anyway, that's 8 hours, 4 hours. Do you have anything comfortable? Spot something. You can see this point, this point, this point. So we have something going on there. So you can go to 2 hours, 1 hour. So can you plot it? Okay, so always make sure uko pia time frame yenye you're comfortable ikuja to plotting some of this. So I think I'll go for this. You can see this violation. Okay, less than 1 minute to go. The number of supports na resistance don't matter at all. Get as many as you can. Okay, make sure chart yako, it's a matter of getting the best out of the market. Okay, so the moment utajilimit tuseme ati I'm going to leave at this point. Okay, I'm going to leave at this point. You can see what happens. This point to leave out, yes. What happens? Ikirudi could retrace to this point. Then because we didn't have this point, market irudi mpaka hapa, and as tuna assume we won't get it, tutakuwa tuna expect irudi mpaka kwa trend line yetu just because it violate earlier. Okay, so yeah, so you can see that. Then you can see what is happening hapa. I'm trying to find the best fit, okay, for that trend line so that you can know what to expect from the markets. So we have less than a minute kabla Zoom wafanye ile story yao, and then we'll be back to continue. But yeah, this you can see where GBP USD is headed to.